The current facility that we have here wasn't designed for all the things that are happening. And the House of Peace is taking a look at how it can work with the facility in a much better way for the programs that have come to bear here in 2006.
If you help here, you will immediately be affecting not just people today, but people down the road in the future. Whether they be single parents who are trying to get back on their feet, whether they be people who are hungry, who don't have a meal tonight, whether they be children who are trying to get a high-quality education in a private school, you're changing the future.
When you're tempted to get gloomy and discouraged about all, however legitimate it might be because of all the genuine problems we got, look at a place like House of Peace. We're tempted to say, there's nothing we can do. Boy, I don't know how we're ever going to settle these problems. Go to House of Peace.
I'm committed to the House of Peace because I know that the House of Peace wants to help people. They truly want to. It's not just a matter of them giving people food, but they really want people to become empowered.
Brother Booker surrounded himself here with the wonderful gifts that the African American community was all about. And I needed to be part of that. So I asked Brother Booker if I could move in with him in 1991, and he was, of course, very gracious to do so, and I've been here since.
Everybody in the area knows about the House of Peace. They know what we do. They know when they can come. They depend on us, and we are dependable. Our main goal is to keep the family united, to provide food, to provide clothing, to provide whatever it is that's necessary to keep the family unit together and to train them or to guide them into becoming self-sufficient.
The people that come to the House of Peace are genuinely in need. The number of people that we see at this nursing center, the majority of them are uninsured people or they're people who are underinsured. So we really serve the working poor.
The facility is woefully inadequate for what happens here. At the holidays, it just gets crazy here. We're trying to serve 1,000 households in November and in December that are in addition to what we usually do. Our nursing clinic and legal clinic downstairs and the meeting space downstairs that we provide to various community groups. We don't have an elevator for the handicapped to get down there. There was a time for a cancer support group when I literally carried a woman down the stairs and back up. She was in such pain, I really admired her courage to do that. We don't even have a handicapped restroom in the House of Peace, and we need to have that for our guests and our brothers and sisters who are handicapped and come here for help. We're doing way too much with what we have, and it's got to the point where we can't continue that way, and yet the need is still there.
I think life needs symbols, and one of the symbols of the House of Peace is more than just the giving out emergency assistance. I think it's also the holistic approach to what human beings are all about. That's why I'm so glad we have things like the Heritage Chorale with music. We have an educational system. People are more than just food.
There's all kinds of challenges in the city. And if you don't empower young people to see themselves as leaders, they will never overcome all these obstacles.
I am a product of this neighborhood. When I was a young girl, my family was on welfare, and my dad, sometimes when we ran short, had to come to the emergency food pantry, and my dad came and got food items for us.
You know, one of the great saints that I love, and that the whole church loves, and heck, that the whole world loves, is St. Francis of Assisi. And I often hear people say, why can't we have a Francis of Assisi today? Where are the Francises today? Go to House of Peace. The clothing area is out in the garage, and it's, it started out with a garbage bag in the middle of the floor. And so the improvements have been made as far as how we make the clothing available to our guests. But still, you have to, no matter what the weather is, you come in the House of Peace, you need clothing, you still have to go back out into the elements to get to where the clothing is.
I believe it's important that children be properly dressed when they go to school, because then they're not teased. Then their focus can be on learning and they can receive. And I believe that that's what happened to me, because I had a love for school, because I had proper clothing, because I was nourished properly, I learned. And that desire for education just continues with me even to this day. And I want people to know that when you give, it's not just a momentary giving assignment, that you really make a difference in people's lives. The House of Peace has made a difference in my life.
If you ask why the church is here, why the Capuchins have chosen to be on 17th and Walnut in the central city, it's because this is where Jesus would have been had he been walking the earth today. That it's our job to be here, it's our job to be witnesses, but more importantly, it's our job to help people who are in need.
We're not doing it just for the individual who sits here and is getting clothes for their back or food for their family. We're doing it actually for Jesus. It really is Jesus who gets the clothes and who gets the food.
A woman that I talked with yesterday who was here, who needed some medication desperately, had had a stroke 6 months earlier. She didn't make enough money. After she had her stroke, the hospital had a collection agency come after her. They took her house away. I mean, they literally took her house. She had to sell her house. She had to file for bankruptcy. And she said, I don't know where to go anymore. And she said, if I don't take the medicines I need, I'm going to have a stroke again. And if I don't take the medicines I need to breathe, I can't work.
A lot of people that come here do work, but they just don't have insurance, or real good benefits.
How powerful it is that when Jesus has given us a forecast of what it's going to be like at the final judgment, what does he say? When it all comes down to it, what we're going to be asked when we stand before the judgment seat of God is, how did you help the least of my brothers and sisters?
Whether it's $5 or $5,000 that comes through the mail, each dollar is important and helps this place continue to care for those who don't have enough resources.
I would really hate to think of 17th and Walnut or this area without a House of Peace.
Not everybody can work in the inner city, but maybe you can help us financially. So I see it as a privilege and an honor to ask people, you can be a part of this incredible, wonderful work that touches the future and changes Milwaukee and probably changes the world in some small way. It's just a blessing to be here.
Our city has the responsibility to take care of the poor who live among us. Jesus did say the poor will always be among you, but he never said we shouldn't try to help them.